Hi, good afternoon. My name is Claire Wineman. I'm the president of the Grower Shipper Association of Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties. We represent over 170 growers, shippers, farm labor contractors, and supporting agribusinesses. Our members grow diverse field and nursery crops such as broccoli, strawberries, wine grapes, vegetable transplants, flowers, and tree fruit. We submitted more detailed written comments that can be found in package number 2 and would like to highlight a few of our main points for you today. Although we are aware of the differences, we would like to articulate that our members have experienced similar conflicts with both hemp and cannabis. Both hemp and cannabis cultivation have been the source of significant conflict with established Central Coast agriculture. Based on the best information we have available and the extent of conflict that our members and others in the agricultural community have experienced in trying to grow near hemp and cannabis, we do not believe that hemp or cannabis cultivation is compatible with organic or conventional Central Coast agriculture. Our policy position has evolved based on the experience of our members growing in close proximity to hemp and cannabis through a full production cycle. Unlike any other crop, hemp and cannabis have demonstrated that it's virtually impossible to farm next to, even when exercising best management practices in a manner consistent with proper and accepted customs and standards and local, state, and federal rules and regulations. The conflicts that our members have experienced are not isolated to one particular location, individual, or crop type. The majority of our members operating near hemp and or cannabis have experienced significant and often acrimonious conflict. Although the significance of advocating for regulations weighs heavily on our association, until we have evidence to the contrary, we urge a cautious approach be exercised to maintain the viability of established, diverse agriculture and a future for food crops on the Central Coast, and will continue our engagement on this important issue. Thank you.
Don't walk away.
Yeah, don't walk away.
Yeah, we got a couple questions for you. Commissioner Blough?
Yeah, you've explained that there's been conflicts between the two crops, call them crops. What are those? I mean, you have to tell me what kind of bad things happen. Give me some examples.
Sure. We talk about that a little bit in our comment letter. I think the things that I'd like to, so the crop types have included broccoli, wine grapes, avocado orchards, and citrus orchards. And again, I'm just speaking specifically for our members. And the types of conflicts that have happened have included land cultivation or land prep, the application of plant protection materials, also fertilizers have been a source of conflict, and certainly threatened litigation.
Okay, that doesn't help me a whole lot. If you were to tell me that a broccoli crop was destroyed because of something that the hemp grower or the cannabis grower did on his parcel, or that there was some migration of chemicals, pesticide, just whatever the problem was, just to tell me that there was a conflict and it was an acrimonious situation doesn't really help me.
You'd like more specifics?
A little bit. A couple examples would be good.
Sure. Well, I think we have previously articulated some of the plant concerns or threatened litigation over some of the plant protection materials that were being applied. So that was one example. You mentioned the broccoli example, and that did raise some questions about food safety, about kind of the compatibility of materials that were being applied in that particular context. It was.
Well, it's my understanding they don't apply any chemicals to the hemp organization or to the hemp or to the cannabis, but the problem is
compost. It was a
compost.
The compost was the question that had come up previously. So I think so. Again, dust was one of the in one situation that was, and then also I failed to mention previously about some of the concerns, at least in the context of our association. The concern is primarily, or that we've received feedback from, have been harvest crews, concerns that there was exposure to pesticide drift when in fact it was the smell of the cannabis, and then also some of the harvest crews have reported headaches from harvesting in proximity to both hemp and cannabis cultivation.
Do we have other questions? Because I have a couple from the commission. Do you? Okay. Does your organization have any kind of a conflict resolution thing amongst members? I mean, we heard from the Ag Commissioner this morning about her stakeholder group, and I'm wondering if within the Grower and Shippers Association, if you have something like that, just complaining between members, is there any kind of resolution function like that?
Yes, it usually involves phone calls and texts. So I think there's a, long-standing, dialogue and certainly among our members, their willingness to engage and try to address those concerns and problems. And so certainly among our members, that's been an important mechanism.
So is the way it works is that they call you and then you call the person that they have a concern over, and so it really falls on you being the mediator, or is it? Are
you referencing specifically the concerns about hemp and cannabis?
Right.
So we currently don't have any cannabis members because it's our position that since it's still federally illegal under the RICO, we don't have cannabis members at this time. I'm trying to think in terms of hemp. The locations that have been the greater source of conflict have not been members of the association.
Okay. And so you don't have any members, so you don't do any shipping for cannabis or hemp?
We have some members who have limited hemp cultivation, but again, not cannabis because of the federal illegal status.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Freeney, do you have some? No, that's it. Okay, thank you, Claire.
Thank you.